Mundo.
Belt.
Planeta.
Tierra Grund.
Zemlya.
Tierra. En français, qu'est-ce que le bleu, le earth.
Havana Arguello with History and Math. Dan Santos with Social Issues and Standardized Testing.
Lisa Chick with Science and Medicine.
Micah Makasad with a public service announcement.
I'm Arguello, informing you today about the history and math concerning Earth Day. During the 1950s and 60s, many people were not concerned with the state of their environment. People saw pollution from factories as a sign of improvement and power. This mindset began to change when Rachel Carson introduced her book Silent Spring in 1962. The book analyzed how the poisonous pesticide DDT destroys the environment. In her novel, she also challenges whether humankind is more concerned in advancing technologically than its own existence on Earth. Carson once warned,
"The road we have long been traveling is deceptively easy, a smooth superhighway on which we progress with great speed, but at its end lies disaster." As seen in this graph, 73% of students drive to school. This does not include the 10% that carpool. That being said, it is frightening to think of all the carbon emissions our students cause by 8 o'clock in the morning. On my second analysis of the results, I did see some hope for our future.
The students surveyed said they own and use a reusable water bottle. 65% said their families live an eco-friendly lifestyle. 63% agreed that nuclear energy is not a good way to obtain energy. And 79% said if given the opportunity, they would drive an energy-efficient car. Though this is a start, I believe that we can do better. It starts how we as students view Earth Day. Most agree that it is important, but no one takes actions to support it. The change to inspire action from students must start with the schools. Only 30% of students surveyed said that they discussed Earth Day in class. But 76% believe that schools should encourage more eco-friendly behavior. If the celebration of Earth Day was held with the importance of its stress or added to the curriculum for classes to learn, many believe we will see a change in the attitudes of our students toward the environment. Maybe it will work, or maybe it will be a complete failure, but if we don't try to change things, we will never know. Now here's Avery Ann with Social.
Thank you, Havana. Due to human activity and business, the Earth is losing biodiversity and creating vast extinctions. Business production caused a deterioration and vanishing of ecosystems. Logging and illegal hunting make nature and animal conservation a struggle. Rapid global warming is affecting ecosystems. This is also known as climate change.
In April to July 2010, BP, a British gas and oil company, was responsible for an oil spill that occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. The oil spill drastically affected many marine life habitats. Just recently, a very massive explosion occurred in a Texas fertilizer plant on Waco, Texas. Industrial fires from the ammonium nitrate fertilizer led to a destructive explosion. Endless environmental problems strike our Earth and its resources. The video footage being shown are satellite images of the Earth's surface provided by NASA. The footage captures melting glaciers in Alaska, coastal expansion of Dubai, and unplanned growth of Las Vegas. The images are taken from 1984 to 2012. You can see land expansion as the continents get larger and larger. Our Earth's waters and ocean is decreasing through the land expansion. Factors such as overpopulation contribute to the continent's expansion. Human overpopulation occurs in countries such as
The
China,
media has
India,
provided
and
several
Sudan.
greenwashing propagandas. Commercials and advertisements shown the public ways we can start moving to Earth conditions. Unfortunately, celebrating Earth isn't as popular as it was in the 70s. Less and less people are becoming less aware about how important restoring Earth is. Although there is progress towards cleaning and taking a stand with this crucial topic, it is our generation's responsibility, especially the youth, to maintain keeping our environment clean and conserved. Unfortunately, Earth Day is a controversial topic to our politicians. On April 22, 2013, known as Earth Day, the staff of Congress took the day off. Only two-thirds of Congress participated and was active by attending and speaking at Earth Day events. In the past, a few politicians show little to no care about the cause of Earth Day. only a portion of our generation, including those in higher powers, doesn't take Earth Day into great consideration. And now we have Lisa discussing about the science and medicine aspect of environmental issues.
Welcome back. Earth Day encourages all of us, no matter who you are, what you do, where you're from, or what you look like, to be cautious with our actions that affect the environment. And it also reminds us of the consequences that can occur if we fail to do our part. Biodiversity is essential to any successful environment because more species allows for natural sustainability and better recovery from disasters. Unfortunately, the human race has been dramatically damaging biodiversity and actually threatening extinction.
It starts with the farms. Crop byproduct feeds cattle, whose waste feed the soil and nourish crops. Bacteria feed on cellulose fibers from the soil, which supplies crops and smaller organisms with nutrition. You can see in this diagram, organisms depend on various species to carry out processes such as nitrogen fixation by bacteria, which is essential to plants and ultimately all life. Unfortunately, industrial farming techniques are depriving diversity among food sources and instead assaulting them with chemicals, destroying the once rich biodiversity.
Directly affecting mankind are diseases such as pulmonary cancer, which can be contracted merely by inhaling a series of carcinogen chemicals. So every time you breathe, you could actually be contracting cancer. A study was also done in Mexico where children raised in more polluted areas showed a significantly lower score on the IQ test.
Within our very own home city of Los Angeles, the University of Southern California found that day-to-day pollution causes a narrowing of arteries, which is an early stage of heart disease, the leading cause of death. This buildup of fatty materials in the neck artery limits blood flow, which is also linked to smoking, diabetes,
Pollution alone has been a leading factor in mesothelioma lung cancer, which goes undetected for 20 to 30 years, as well as bronchitis, emphysema, premature death, and neurobehavioral disorders. In 1990, only 800,000 people died of pollution, but a whopping 3.2 million died of it in 2010, and that's just outdoor pollution. Another 3.5 million premature deaths occurred in countries such as Africa and India because of indoor pollution, largely sourcing from coal cooking stoves.
As you can see in this image, mankind is no exception to the detrimental effects of our deteriorating environment. The only way to be cured from these diseases is to not contract them, which means we all have to take care of the earth, even by doing things like turning the lights off, taking shorter
You might
showers,
think that
and
none of these
recycling.
things could ever happen to you, but even just reduced energy levels, irritated eyes, or simply headaches could be a result of pollution. And who's to blame? Every person on this planet produces some means of waste, but it's the way we're handling or not handling it that's going to kill our future. Back to you, Avian.
Thanks, Lisa. Standardized testing in the United States is used to improve national test scores and the education system. For example, the NCLB, known as the No Child Left Behind Act, is a standardized test taken in all 50 states of America. It covers the topics of English language arts, social science, science, and mathematics. Each test is given pertaining to the course of the student is enrolled in. However, the topic of conservation of Earth is not a part of the science category. Any content covering and testing the maintenance of our Earth will affect how students in current and future generations will treat the planet. Learning from these tests can impact the environment in several ways. The Board of Education must consider in applying these environmental maintenance within state standards of learning and state testing. I'm here at Crescendo Valley High School with the economics and world history teacher to interview Mrs. Hugo. Do you think environmental issues should be incorporated in standardized testing?
Yes, definitely. I think environmental concerns should be part of standardized testing because if they were to add topics related to conserving the environment and helping to keep our environment healthy and just make students aware that it is really up to us as, as a community of human beings to save our environment and to make it better, then I think we would actually be able to make a greater impact into our future. So I'm actually surprised. I'm not a science teacher, so I'm actually surprised that it's not.
How will this affect the maintenance of our Earth?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I think by actually teaching students about the dangers of what will happen in our future with global warming and all these environmental topics, It will make them more self-aware. It will make them want to do something because it is, after all, their future that's really more at stake, and their children's future. And this topic actually is really kind of close to my heart. I have a brother who works for the EPA, and he's an environmental protection agency lawyer. So he goes around the world teaching about these things and suing companies that are polluting our earth. And so I'm sure he would agree with me that the more we spread the word that it is up to us to save our earth, to save our environment, the better our chances that we're going to be here for.
Thank you, Mrs. Hugo. Now, a few short words from our sponsors.